Rocky music.
Da-da-da.
You put it on you wouldn't hum it. Parker, just, you're gonna have just calm, friendly. Hey! No! None of that. Coco, you can't run like Parker. That's like, you're like the villain. Coco's the villain. Do you want a fitness pal? Do you want a fitness pal in your pocket, walking around with you every day? Like a little man or a little girl telling you what you should do to burn calories? Look no further than MyFitnessPal. Use offer code
Little people.
on, I don't know the abbreviation for our podcast to like do a discount code.
Right now our abbreviation is online on tour. That's the closest thing we've got.
Online on OOOT.
Our CEO of the company asked if there was an abbreviation for our pod.
Oh, really?
I said,
is it
never
OOOT?
again.
Oh, we don't have an abbreviation? So how are we going to do discount codes for like a great sponsor like
Online.
Liquid Death?
Online on tour. That's pretty short.
You can't type in the whole...
You can type in online on tour, or just online 10.
It's like
on the tour 5.
It's normally like 4 letters max, or I feel like it's not. It's like a short word.
We'll work on that.
Discount code calves. Discount code. When.
I was thinking of our abbreviation being something that is almost unrelated to the name itself. Like,
I don't get why you bring up these really bad ideas to me now. It's like this isn't a working session right now for the podcast.
All podcasts.
I know you're thinking that it's been a hit so far. Has that been your general reaction from the inaugural episode?
I feel like people's attention spans are too short right now, and they don't quite get through it. So I think we just have to hit.
Are their attention spans too short, or are we just not hitting? Is what you're saying?
We're hitting in some aspects. I think some.
Okay.
I haven't done a full review.
Yeah.
Gotten a full.
Well, like
survey of the show.
Bill Cosby, Louis C.K., some of the great comedians, they couldn't get through an hour the first 20 years of their life, basically.
Yeah.
So
this is
if we can get 5 to 10 minutes of engagement, I feel like that's success at this point.
I actually can think of some people that have listened to the whole podcast. That'd be my mom. That'd be Connor, St. Louis. And I think there's others. I think there's a few others, but I don't remember them. We have like 25 or 26 views.
You don't have to go over this right now.
We run our numbers.
To go over the stats, You gotta let the stats speak for themselves, really.
Does what about have you shared the pod? Have you sent it out to people? Because we need that.
I've sent it to like one friend, to be honest.
You gotta amplify that.
Well, I need to embrace the marketing side of it. I've kind of stepped away from online, took kind of a hiatus from that whole world because, it can be unhealthy, that online world, and then getting back in, it's a gradual process, so.
Too much screen time.
Trying to limit screen time, trying to be more authentic, trying to be more serious in my day-to-day life and take, see the people around me, don't be living on your phone, on YouTube, on all those places, but
Yeah, be present.
Yeah, you got to be present though. So
we'll actually have Connor come in for an episode and do a whole special on screen time, and he has a special word for it or special term, more of a person, Medusa. And you got to be careful about Medusa because Medusa is on your screens. So
you realize you have to get like my approval for guests that come on. You can't just announce guests. So
I'm okay with turning them.
We haven't even introduced the theme of today's episode. So I say we get into that.
Online.
On tour.
Multicultural.
Experience. Okay.
Dreamland. Dreamland.
Dreamland experience. But that was kind of gay. That whole just like I feel like that's like a low level of like
Online.
children in like
On
music
tour.
classes or stuff is like just like the person just like finishes like the sentence of the next
online. On tour. So
you
many
know what it is and you don't really
Online.
care.
We don't know what it is and we don't really care. Yeah, you know what it is and you don't really
So this
care.
is the Creed episode.
CreedCast.
The CreedCast. We saw Creed 3 over the weekend. It's been kind of we've been in that Rocky mindset for me. It's been the last couple weeks leading up to Creed 3. Creed 3 was the icing on the cake for me, and it came through hard.
And when you
emotionally,
when you walk around with the Rocky mindset, I mean everything is amplified. Your workouts are harder. You're mashing through calls at work harder. You know, you're going on like lots of jogs and sweats.
oh for sure.
Yeah.
I didn't go on any jogs, to be honest. In sweat, I didn't do it. I just kind of just watched the movies. I didn't. I guess I've been lifting, so I guess that's been good. But let's go back to the movie though.
So Creed. What do you?
You're panicking. Oh man.
It's a fighting movie. So how was?
It's boxing, dude.
It's a boxing movie.
Yeah.
How many?
So it's Michael B. Jordan. He's directing his first movie. It's the Creed franchise. Parker, I'm distracted by Parker.
This is derailed. Okay, so let's talk about Creed 3. So Michael B. Jordan comes at it again. This time he's directing it, and I thought he did a great job. My personal review of it, I thought the fighting was on a different level than previous movies. I come into it, it felt like almost like a video game. Like it was so action packed.
Yeah,
you know.
But he did say he was influenced a lot by anime and those type of fighting scenes, so that kind of made sense with it spiced up things a little bit in the Rocky franchise. You know that Rocky didn't really have, so they added its own new thing, and maybe that had to do with Sylvester Stallone not making an appearance in the movie.
I heard about that. So he just thought that the plot was too dark? Was that the...
Yeah, which doesn't make any sense because the Rocky plots are like really depressing. Like the dude just like, you know, Creed just like dies in the ring and then like he like gets like brain damage and then he, you know, all these other things, you know, so I don't get why, because it was, you know, I followed the trend of the series, I thought, but
I think, you know what it probably was? I think Rocky,
we don't know
or
the whole
Sylvester Stallone, this is my guess, is he probably thought it was going to be a lot darker than it was because the whole, like, Crenshaw, you know, you got, what's his name in the movie? Damien. Bumping Nipsey Hussle
Damien
all the time.
Is kind of dark.
Dark character.
Yeah.
But
that was probably why.
Great performance. I don't know the name of the actor, but absolutely killed it. He kind of had this cool, it's like bopping around vibe. Yeah. I mean, it goes back to, you know, Damien and Michael B. Jordan, Creed, Adonis, have a backstory. They grew up together. They got in a little bit of a altercation, and let's just say one paid for it, one didn't. And I'll let you guys find out that in the movie. But I was going to past Creed movies. Like, how would you compare this one?
I really like Creed 1. And so the first Creed, I would say, you know, might stand alone. But it's always tough being the first movie in the series because it can just make such an imprint if you do it right. It was probably, I thought, a little bit better than Creed 2, but Creed 2 is good too. So yeah, I'd say, you know, it's one of my, you know, favorites of the series for sure.
It was solid. Love the fighting in it. I like the dark backstory. I thought that added an edge to it. I even like the side characters. Felix, the Mexican boxer, coming out with the Day of the Dead spraying the little cans there, and
it was Phoenix or Felix one of the worst. They basically just put him in there to get knocked out, and he's done. One of the worst fighters in the Rockies franchise history.
He got destroyed.
They're like
couldn't handle the dirty fighters.
It's falling apart, dude. Everything's God. And I feel like has there been very many Mexican fighters in the series?
I don't think there's been one Mexican fighter.
Should have gotten Parker like a toy or something. You could just let her down.
Let her down?
She's
just the down.
Just take her out. Just put her down. Or just
here.
This is a safe way. We're gonna cut this. Hi and welcome to the Creed 3 podcast. I'm your host of the online on tour multicultural experience, Dreamland experience.
And I'm also the host of the online on tour.
Hi, I'm your host of the online on tour, a multicultural Dreamland experience.
And I'm the host of the online on tour multicultural Dreamland experience.
And I'm the most important host. Hi, I'm Daniel. I'm the host. So yeah, this has been a long time coming. This episode, the Creed 3 episode.
Literally.
We've had the last one came out this was a few years ago. I can't remember when Creed 2 came out. Like
Ivan Drago's son versus Apollo Creed's son, and then finally we've been waiting. I've been in the message boards. I've been in the forums. I've been sending mail, calling them.
What's most amazing about that is that they just expected like all the like sons to also like be really good at boxing when like realistically, you look at Magic Johnson, you look at some you look at some other famous people and you look at their kids and I guess you got Bronny.
Dwayne Wade.
You got Bronny. But that just is what's so great about the whole franchise. It's just like so simple and like not confusing to the point of like being that like makes it perfect.
And I feel like that's what makes some of the old movies timeless is they're straight to the point. Simplicity. And they're great. They're great movies that stand the test of time. Curious, so we actually saw.
That's what's just so great about the Rocky character in general.
Would have been nice to see him in this movie.
And Sylvester's listening or watching. I don't know how he consumes his media or podcasts. We missed you, buddy. Let's just say that. If I could, I'd send Sylvester Stone a letter, and I'd write a letter saying how much we missed him in this movie, and how much we could use him. It was even though it was a great movie, I think that's Rocky.
I think that affected my rating, even though I rated this a pretty high. I gave this a good score. I think Rocky added. So personally, I'll do a little slightly deep dive. I won't give too many spoilers out of Creed 3. Comes in flying. I mean, some of the best boxing cinematography that we've seen on camera of all time, in my opinion. We actually have defense, which leads to not offense. Ever in most of the Rocky series. I mean, there was more defense in the Creed series, but this actually felt a little more lifelike, the boxing. And even though
the story was kind of unrealistic, the really old fighter doing his first fight, and then winning the heavyweight championship. But
because as far as boxing goes, you got to keep that up.
Yeah,
you can't just like if you take
people get pretty jacked when they're in jail. I feel like you don't have a lot to do, so you'll just kind of lift these weights, like these average looking weights. I've never been to jail myself, but if I did, I would try to get jacked.
The Damien character was a great character. A lot of impact. I love the dark backstory behind it.
Yeah.
And
could you see someone in real life being the next Damien? I'm talking coming out of prison and going straight to the ring.
I feel like it's happened. I don't know who that person would be, but
was that Jared?
You think
That could be a different story. I don't think they're gonna make a movie about that.
He
If
might-
he rebounds.
no.
He could. What if he rebounds like really good somehow? Like
he somehow
gets out of prison and just like you just see him pop up.
celebrity boxing?
Parker, you gotta chill. This one wants to fight.
And we can do a rankings of who we think, which prisoners would be the best fighters,
Yeah.
coming out. You have like,
What about the guy, the Fire Island guy? He's out of prison now. I could see him
Fire
fighting.
Island.
Yeah, like the big CO. They had that whole music festival that went down.
Oh, he definitely
I
would
could
do
see
it.
he like fighting Jake Paul or something. Which is going to be the next Creed is going to be Jake Paul versus Creed. Don't you think? That's
I
what
think so too. I think that could happen.
it's got to be a YouTuber. I think they got to modernize the franchise.
What do you rate it? What do you rate this movie? This Creed movie?
I gave it a 3.5 out of 5. I thought about like it's a high 3.5 out of 5. Like it's probably like closer to 3.9 if you're on that, or 3.8. Oh no, then I guess I should round up to I'm gonna stick with a 3.5. I gave Creed 1 a 4. So yeah.
I would give it a 3.9, 3.7, 3.78.
Yeah.
And the reason why I would give it a 3.78 is I thought the cinematography was good. I thought the backstory was good. I thought things like jumped. There wasn't a smooth transition to him boxing. The prisoner, I think there could have been a better build up to the fight. Like the press conference, like was non-existent. I would have liked a press conference. I would have liked some smack talk back and forth. Can we get a little bit more drama before the match? I think that would have added something to it. And I also think the last punch could have been cooler. The last punch was almost too realistic. What I liked about the old Rockies is the last punches were so insane and over the top.
Yeah.
Where they're like basically dead. That it was just cool.
But that's what you liked about the old Rockies?
That's what I liked about the old ones. Like the old ones,
Yeah.
you had Rocky 2.
Dude, it was just like they're just like fighting. It's so many hits, and it's not defensive at all. But which does make it entertaining, but at times looks kind of corny. Which I think like some of those older Rockies that like Rocky 4, 5, the reason they weren't as good is because like the fighting and the whole crowd atmosphere I felt like was off. You know what I
4
mean?
and 5.
Yeah, like the late Rocky ones, and I think Creed like has made it like look cool and not corny, but also like using good graphics
Do
and
you?
stuff.
So for your Creed rankings, you have what's your rankings for Creed?
I would go Creed 1, then Creed 3, and then Creed 2.
3 and Creed 2. I would also I'd copy that. That's exactly my ratings as well. Now, as far as your Rocky ratings, what would you go with it?
I'm trying to get this paper out of
Parker, come on.
Parker's mouth. So I go Rocky 1, which is just a classic that will never be beat. I mean, let's be honest.
Great film.
There won't be another Rocky 1 because it has that Adrian romance, starting, and just that kind of like a little bit lower of a budget, a little bit more raw feeling. And then I'd probably then do Rocky 2, which definitely a bigger budget. But I thought it was still solid, the Apollo and Rocky battle. And then really 3, 4, and 5. I guess 3 and 4 they're kind of interchangeable, I feel like. And 4 is when Drago, that would have been more dramatic if he just like cut his head off in the ring. So I almost wouldn't go 4 just for that, and the bromance with Creed and Rocky is just like pretty funny. And then so then 1, 2, 4, 3, and then 5 is definitely the worst Rocky.
Let's factor in
it's
Rocky
'cause
Balboa. Let's factor in the 6th
and then the Rocky Balboa story would go ahead of 4 or ahead of 5, and then after the 4th. or the third one. We can display a graphic on the screen. And then Rocky 5, which is definitely the worst, maybe of the whole Rocky franchise, which is tough because they had a general good idea for that movie, but they just kind of screwed up the whole Rocky's son situation. He's got an earring and stuff.
Yeah, his son, the whole son, bringing in that was
When the second they gave that kid
the mic,
that like
all bad.
earring.
For me personally, I'm actually going to go a little bit of more of an unpopular opinion here. Rocky 4 is number 1 for me. Rocky 2 is number 2. Rocky 1 is number 3. Rocky 3 is number 4. Rocky Balboa is after that, and then I'm going to go with Rocky 5 after that. For some reason, as a kid, Rocky 4 grabbed me. I think you got the Russian training, right? You got this. Ivan Drago's taking the steroids. You got
just so much blatant like stereotypes about like Russia in general.
It was so
wasn't too off.
I feel like it was. There's definitely some corniness with it, but I feel like Rocky 4 was like a steroid shot of Rocky.
Yeah,
like there's so much. You got Apollo dying. You got this dude who you think is just he's so hateable. Like Ivan Drago's so hateable.
Oh yeah,
and then you have the 80s music throughout. You have and then he beats Ivan Drago. Whole thing.
He doesn't even like talk. The dude just like this like robotic person. They just made him, and then the cool Americans, got to destroy Russia, and it's held up to this day. The tensions between America and Russia. I could see Creed going back into Russia.
The flames have been
going into Ukraine
by this series, and that's what people talk about.
I could see that
current state of affairs.
I could see the next Creed 4 being Creed doing a like pro-Ukraine fight in Ukraine in Kiev. Is that the capital?
Let's keep talking with the producers on that. Let's keep sending them emails, and make sure that gets done. That's how we got Creed 3 done.
I'm going straight to Stallone.
For years, we've been talking.
I'm going to write the screenplay with Stallone.
Love that.
His last film.
Growing up, obviously Rocky is not just something that we love now. It's near and dear to our hearts because of our childhood.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever been in a fight? What's your fighting background?
A lot of more verbal for me. Verbal altercations online. With just, people in the comments. So that's kind of been my Rocky, has been out on the webs. But from a physical standpoint, I shoved a kid in elementary school. Went to the office for that, but it was the other kid's fault.
So you were the retaliator in that scenario.
Yeah, I've never initiated a fight, really. I don't think in my life.
Bring us through that. What happened first, and what kind of got you there?
It was just the other kid was being annoying. I don't really remember why it even happened, to be honest. I think everyone was kind of just fighting. It was just like one of those fights, and like just like people just started, kind of shoving each other, and I was kind of just like caught in the middle, defending myself, 100%. The underdog.
But
I'm more of a defensive fighter.
Do you feel like you won that one when the shove? How do you feel like you knocked him back? You kind of rattled him?
Yeah, he kind of was like, "Oh, I didn't see that coming from you." I'm kind of, I won't initiate things, but if you cross the line, I will make you pay.
I see you. I mean, even nowadays in the men's league, I see you throwing your weight around, and guys don't.
Not really.
They learn.
I actually got hit in the abs, and I'm still not recovered from it. But yeah, you're a big Rocky 4 guy.
Love Rocky 4. My fighting history, growing up, I was definitely more of a lover, not a fighter early on. And, I quickly started playing football. And then for some reason, like 6th grade, I just wanted to fight everyone. Like,
oh, dang.
That was the year. So we'd wrestle in the hallways. I knocked out Nick Pouchor's tooth.
Dang.
Wrestling. That was a highlight. I would deck kids in
That
recess.
are you calling that guy out? Full name? Do you want to put that out there?
We can bleep the last name.
Do you think he
We can bleep it.
would do a rematch?
Calling out Nick for rematch. All grappling.
That could be an episode.
All grappling.
It's
We can do a
basically
fight
just
night.
basically sparring. That's Creed. That's a Creed 3 thing. Remember when they said that? But yeah, so it seems you had some aggression back in the day, is what you're saying.
Had some aggression, and then I noticed, because people would pop off at the mouth, tall guys usually,
Yeah.
and they'd be like, "Yo, you should have got that catch. You suck," or whatever, and like kickball. Because one time my friend Ben, he was definitely more like supposed to get this fly ball for kickball, right? He's supposed to catch the pop fly. He calls my name out. He's like, "Can't even get it," even though it's clearly closer to him. And I didn't get it because I'm like farther back. And he's like, he's like, "Why'd you get that?"
Yeah.
Starts spouting out the mouth. And I'm like, that was obviously yours. You can't just call last minute. You got to do it right away if it's that close, which it wasn't. And so he was starting to get under my skin. I just went up, decked him in the chest, and then he just walked away. And I had probably 4 instances in 6th grade where I pushed people and then nothing happened. And I think I wanted someone.
Like they did fight back?
They didn't fight back. I just pushed them, and then that they knew to stay away. But
They knew they'd get their ass kicked. That's what you're saying.
Well,
I think you were probably looked at as I could tell you were like probably looked at as like a weird kid, like nobody liked you.
That was a force.
What happened?
But Rocky, Yo Adrian,
on tour, man.
Mickey, I'm scared this time.
What was that?
Let's see your rock impression.
I can't get put on the spot with my Rocky impression. I feel like it'll come to me.
It'll come?
It'll come to me, yeah.
So Rocky, definitely feel like we covered that a little bit. I guess we can kind of go into the Tony Molina.
Yeah, album of the week. Where's he going? So yeah, Kevin, we were thinking about doing an album of the week, and this week it's Tony Molina's album. What's the name? It's a
In
quick.
the Fade.
It's a quick, 20-minute album. Each song is probably not more than a couple minutes long, and it's just like sad pop bangers.
Yeah,
basically, but more in the Elliott Smith. Maybe a little bit pop punky. I don't know. It just kind of like gets to the core of like a nice sad chorus. I don't know.
Daniel showed me Tony Molina. This must have been like a year or 2 ago.
Yo, Tony. Yo.
Tony Molina.
That could be a fighter name, Tony Molina.
Yeah.
Like a Mexican fighter. But you were saying I showed you?
Oh, you showed me Tony Molina and liked it. I was like, oh, this is cool. And didn't think much of it.
Yeah.
Thought it'd be good to review his new-ish. I mean, this came out 2022.
Yeah, we were kind of a little bit late to it. Came out last year, and I just listened to it now. But
great album. It reminds me, it's like almost has like a modest feel to it. Like it's there's like a quaintness about it. It reminds me of the Microphones a little bit. And there's definitely some Beatles influence.
Definitely Beatles.
The key, like they got that Mellotron keyboard in the background, that fluty sounding keyboard that I like a lot.
That's very Beatlesy, almost. Yellow Submarine or Magical Mystery Tour type of Beatles.
Couple favorites from it. Let's see. Track number 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I feel like I like almost every
8,
song.
9. I don't like that he.
That
was one of my favorite ones. Song for Friends was also one of my favorite ones.
That's the very Beatles sound.
And then Years Ago part 2. Those are my top 3. It had this like the first song had a crazy organ in the beginning.
Yeah, nice little intro song.
A lot of like lyrics about like dysfunctional relationships is what I've noticed.
A lot of wanting to like go away or the other person to leave this town. I feel like every single album, pretty much every album is like the same overall like meaning or like type of songs in a way of his. Like he doesn't really change his like he has variety in like his songs, but they all have like the same general theme of like I'm leaving the town to get away from this girl, or this girl's leaving the town, or like, you know,
There's a lot
I'm
of
depressed
punk
and can't
songs.
get over things, and yeah,
A lot
very
of punk,
pop punk.
a lot of punk songs that have that whole leaving town.
Yeah,
So for me personally, I give this like an 8 out of 10.
yeah, definitely solid.
I really
I
want to
think
hear
it's
like
the
a
same
longer
thing.
release from him. Even though I like the short songs,
I don't know if he will.
he's a short song guy.
I almost think like that's his style that he's like sticking to. But if he just did like 4 or 5 minutes songs, get a little bit more production, I think he could kill it too. It's almost like he's trying to hide from being more popular, I think. But yeah,
I checked out some of his past bands, like I think it was like Violent Noise or something,
yeah,
and that was good.
more on the like noisier side of things, right?
That was pretty good.
Parker. But yeah, definitely check it out. It's not even very long of an album to check out if you're.
Now it's a quick hitter.
Talk about that.
Is it National Women's Day today?
Yeah, today's like the National Women's Appreciation Day.
Shoot.
We didn't even mention it.
Should we do our favorite women?
Oprah.
So, Oprah's your favorite woman?
It's got to go Oprah, and then it's got to go Martha Stewart.
Ooh.
I like a little controversy. Are we recording?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't have to repeat that. It goes Oprah, Martha Stewart, and then Jessica Alba, and then Wendy Williams, and then Ellen. And then I'm just gonna.
It's just Power 5.
Daytime television. That's where all the strongest women are, I think.
My top 5 women are Reba McEntire, Carrie Underwood.
Carrie Underwood, actor Carrie Underwood, not musician.
No. And then I'd say my next woman is Liz Harris. And
Respect.
then my next woman after that is probably Liza Minnelli. And then the one after that's probably Condoleezza Rice.
Okay.
You know?
I gotta go Michelle Obama.
Oof.
Because I'm center left.
You're also
she's in the center left.
Like what, 5% African?
I am? No, dude, come on. Not on Women's Day. You can't say that. But my real, not that those women I don't appreciate, but probably my actual women's appreciation people would be mainly actors, I feel like. Greta Gerwig, Michelle Williams, shout out St. Vincent, shout out my mom, my grandma.
Yeah.
You gotta
shout out
those.
my mom. Shout out my mom.
We're just trying to get on the side of women. I think that's important as a podcast. Some people will call this a political move to be like, oh, they just want women to listen or appreciate us, but we are authentic and we treat women with respect.
Yeah.
On and off the court. Even when I'm, going one-on-one.
Marching or not marching?
With a girl, yeah.
I'm still marching.
I'm always marching. If I just get up, I'm watching TV, I go get some snacks. I'm that march that is a constant women's.
It's a peaceful protest.
March. Yeah. So.
Have you been to a protest before?
I went to one protest, and it was during the Trump people in cages situation, and I think it was like a immigration thing, and I didn't really want to go, to be honest.
You were dragged there.
The thing is, I went by myself because you can cut this.
Well, you went by yourself?
Yeah, I went by myself.
Whoa.
I just grabbed not a sign. I grabbed something like a bag, a tote bag. No, I think it was a poster or a sign. I just like kind of like grab one to like as like my merch for like showing that I went to it.
Yeah.
Basically, and then I thought it was in walking distance would be easy, but it was like the most like hot day ever.
Yeah.
So yeah.
We got guests from the pod. This my mom and dad are staying at my house
Oh dang.
For a podcast episode. Hey. Coco's working her way in. Parker.
Yeah, that's my new this is Parker. So they were what is it? It's a mini golden doodle. Yeah, she's only like 3 months.
What's Coco?
Dad, what's your thoughts on National Women's Day? What do you got to say?
It's a great day. Really enjoy it.
It's
heard it here
National
first.
holiday.
The dads love Women's Day. We're celebrating across the globe.
Every day's Women's Day, When's the Men's Day? Am I right? Parker's going nuts. It's Women's Day. It's you. But yeah.
Yeah, we brought the female dogs out for this.
What?
Parker's
very distracted now. But yeah.
Is there anything else you want to sound off on?
Oscars Sunday. Tune into the Oscars. Maybe we'll do a post recap on that. Banshees of Inisherin. I like that. Tar. Everything Everywhere All at Once. Gonna do big numbers. So, and then, I wanted to do a full segment, but you kind of did negative about that.
What?
We'll talk about that offline. You haven't seen any of the movies, so
no, I haven't seen none of them, basically.
But I gotta take care of my dog. So, shout out
Peace.
Women forever.